Hello class, welcome back to another section of our intensive calculus course. In this class, we still continue our differentiability. We did parts in the previous video, and in this video, we're going to do the derivative of trigonometric functions as well as derivative of hyperbolic functions and the derivative of their inverses. So when we talk about trigonometric functions, we've already delved into it in the function part of calculus. Kindly go and find the video by subscribing to my channel and going to my video section. It's going to pop up there. So if you have derivative of trigonometric functions, how are you going to go about that? Trig functions, we have the sine x, we have the cos x, we have the tan x. I said when you say trig functions, they refer to functions of the angles in a triangle. That is trig. Functions of the angles in the triangle. So sine x, cos x, tan x, they are functions, and their argument is angles, and those angles are the angles formed by triangles. So if you differentiate sine x, you're going to get cos x. If you differentiate cos x, you get negative sine x. Then if you differentiate tan x, you get sec squared x. Where sec squared x is 1 over cos. If you have 1 over cos or cos inverse, we say that it is equal to sec. So the derivative of tan x is sec squared x. This is an introductory course once again, and you will delve more into all these concepts. Now the derivative of hyperbolic function. When you say hyperbolic, I've also done that one. So let me make some recap here. Hyperbolic functions are functions in the Euler's number, exponent of the Euler's number. So if you have sine x, say sine h of x, that is hyperbolic functions. So if you have sine h of x, you can have cos h of x, you have tan h of x. So hyperbolic functions, you only add h to our usual trigonometric functions. What are the derivatives? The derivative of this sine x here is cos h of x. Derivative of cos h of x is simply sine h of x, but non-negative. Take note. Derivative of tan h of x is simply sec squared h, sec h squared of x, yes. So these are the basic derivatives you will have in trig and hyperbolic functions. Let's talk some more about their inverses. When you have sine inverse, as I was saying, sine inverse. Now, this one is 1 over cos. Take note, 1 over cos is different from cos inverse. You have cos inverse there. Then you have cos 1 over cos. This one is the exponential form as I made. But when you say cos inverse, so let me write it well. In this state, you're going to have cos x all to the power negative 1. This is what I mean here. But when you say cos inverse of x, this is a different concept. So let's see. When we say inverse of trigonometric functions, if I take sine of x, the inverse is sine inverse of x, which is also called arc sine of x. If I take cos of x, I'm going to have cos inverse of x, which is also equal to arc cos x. Finally, I can have tan of x, then tan inverse of x, which is also equal to arc tan x, simply. So when you have these are the inverses of our trigonometric functions. What will be their corresponding derivatives? Take note. If you have sine inverse of x and you want to find a derivative, you are going to get 1 over the expression square root of 1 minus x squared. This looks weird, and it may look new if you are a new engineering student. So you realize that sine x cos x, but how come we brought 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared? This will be explained in the later section of our course. If I am to introduce it now, there may be some little confusion because you haven't done so much concept. So let's take this as an introductory course so that we go by the basic stuff. So if I take cos inverse of x, I'm going to get 1 over square root of x minus 1. Then when I take tan inverse of x, I'm going to get 1 over x squared plus 1. Let me go to inverse of the hyperbolic function. So sine h inverse of x, if I'm to take the derivative, I'll simply get 1 over the square root of 1 plus x squared. You realize that for the sine, it's just opposite signs here. Then when you take the cos, it remains the same. Cos inverse of x will be square root of 1 over x squared minus 1. Then tan h inverse of x will simply be equal to 1 minus x squared. This is an introductory course once again. We only need to know the basic stuffs in differentiability. We will delve more into it in our future classes. Thanks for joining this class. Don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe.